Hello and welcome to FPL Onside. No flags, just points. I am Darren and Gaffr is live. Love to wake up and see that the game is live. It was fantastic. Already made a few drafts, as you can appreciate. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how you can put premium defense, premium midfield, premium strikers. We're going to run through that and how you could line up using those. A little bit of facts and figures around why they are premium, why they're priced like they are. I think the guys who do Gaffr really price it well. Like, I've never had a problem with their pricing. They're very, very good. So yeah, we're going to look at the pricing today. I've put a squad at the end. It is not my squad. It is a more balanced draft, and we've based it upon pricing, obviously, because we've got prices now, but more fixtures as well. It's got a bit of a slide in there that I did previously in my last Gaffr one where we looked at fixtures. That just helps us kind of scope what we're looking at, so we're not putting in random people. But let's jump into it. First and foremost, we're looking at a premium defense. When I say premium defense, what I have done here is focus more on defenders and not the goalkeepers. Although I've got two 5.5 goalkeepers, which is what I would consider very too much for any fantasy football thing. In all fairness, you really don't need that with Gaffr. The Jeepers Keepers chip, it's a mouthful, isn't it, is available to play for the first half or the first 13 games, I think it is. So that's something you want to look at, but you get points for saves, so you kind of don't want premium keepers who aren't going to be saving much, etc., etc. So ignore Wilson and Dieng, if you will, for now. But a back five, which you probably would play a lot of the time, looks like this. Davies of Ipswich. Then we've got Manning of Southampton, Furlong, West Brom, Burrows, Sheffield United, and then James Justin of Leicester. So that comes in, yeah, Davies is 7.5, Manning 6.5, Furlong 6, Burrows 7, and Justin 6. Rather pricey. However, on the right-hand side, we've kind of got the justification of why. In 23-24, for instance, Leicester conceded 41. They had 15 clean sheets. West Brom conceded 50. They had 19 clean sheets. Ipswich conceded 57, which it's not, still below mid in that league, but they had 15 clean sheets. Southampton conceded 64, so a lot more, but 14 clean sheets. 24-25, obviously the only two teams that were in it were Sheffield United and West Brom. Sheffield United had 38 conceded and 24 clean sheets. So that was Sheffield United last year. West Brom last year only conceded 47 and had 14 clean sheets. So as you can appreciate, that's the lower end of the league very easily. So you're getting a lot of clean sheets from these guys, which clean sheets make points, obviously. But then you kind of want to look at more of what else can they do. And for instance, if you look at Davis, which I leave Davis of Ipswich, I think everybody will have him in the team. He is 7.5, but in 23-24, obviously 24-25, they're in the Prem, and it's a little bit hard to judge that. So for me, I've gone back to 23-24 when they were in the Championship, and he had 18 assists. So if you're putting, if you're thinking 23-24, 15 clean sheets, 18 assists, that's a lot of points. That's why he's 7.5. Darnell Furlong, West Brom, he had in 23-24 19 clean sheets. So again, absolutely. Furlong was known, I think, the year before that actually. So 22-23, he used to get a lot of assists as well. Actually, he had a good attacking output. That did drop off last year, I feel. But hey, clean sheets aside, very, very good. And then Burrows in 24-25, he registered 6 assists, but obviously, with the 24 clean sheets there and 6 assists, that's a lot. That's a lot in it. 22 clean sheets. He's also on penalties. He scored 3 penalties. So if Burrows is consistently getting those clean sheets like Sheffield United did last year, so he got 22 of them, so he was only in 22. They actually got 24 overall. But if you've got 22 clean sheets, 6 assists, 3 penalties scored in 24-25, you can understand why he is also 7 million. Davies and Burrows, I don't think can be ignored. The rest of the team doesn't look terrible. If you're looking at maximizing all your price in your defenders, which I think Davis and Burrows there realistically are going to be scoring about 270 points between them, I think. So two players, 270 points each. It's a lot, isn't it? I'm not doing the maths. Midfielders. So, I've chucked in a few guys here. So Adozi for 8 million, Ilias Chair 7.5, Nunez 6.5, Twine 6.5, and Laus 6.5. So if you play around with these, you might put two guys in at 5 million. You've got a hell of a lot more to spend, and you can upgrade one of those guys to one of the bigger 10 million premiums. So in striker force, we've got Daka at 8 million, Semedo, Watford's new boy, at 6.5, and then Cullen at 6.5 as well. Again, play around with them. Drop one down to 5 million. I think that's the lowest price striker that will play. And upgrade another one. You can play around with this. So I think you could have a really, really good premium defense where you are playing 5 at the back pretty much each week, and still get out a decent 3 midfielders and 2 striker, or 1 striker, or swap it around. But genuinely, yeah, you could put out a good team still having a solid defense, a very solid defense, in all fairness. So that is the premium defense. I don't hate it, but defense is never where it's exciting, is it? So that's why we've gone on to midfield and strikers as well. But it goes to show, if you did want to, even if you, let's say, drop Justin, who I think out of all the teams, obviously Leicester did keep, in 22-24, Leicester did keep the most clean, did concede the less amount of goals. But James Justin, you've got to be careful with the Leicester defence and who's going to play. And I'm looking more at, I think Pereira is 5.5 million. So if you think he's going to play more often, he's been very injury ridden. But if you think he starts again for Leicester much more frequently, it's a great shout. Failing that, you could drop this guy down to a 4 million and you can upgrade midfield and attack. So I don't hate it. I think it's a really good shout. If anyone wants to take a gamble on a premium defence, this is the way to do it. So midfield was a joy to write up, because I think the Championship is absolutely rife with stunning midfielders. I'll read out the whole team, actually, because I want to see how I want to give you the balance. So in goal, we've got 2 for 4.5 millions, because that's the way most people will go. Defense, we've got Bowler at 5, for Maywo at 4.5, Ramsey 4.5, Bellic 4.5, and Elder at 4.5. Again, we've gone quite cheap mid defense. You might want to downgrade somebody in the midfield, for instance, and upgrade 2 defenders, keep it more rounded. But then in the midfield is beautiful. Jack Clark 11.5, Gustavo Hamer 10, Finna Zaz is 9.5, Jack Radoni is 9.5, and Steffi Mavadidi is 9.5 as well. That's a massive midfield, to be fair. And you'll find out what that kind of can look like in a moment in terms of points. Osmajic is 6.5, Lee Byrne from Charlton 5.5, and then I've stuck Blackburn's Gahey on there at 6, but I think him and Hohashi will obviously rotate quite a lot. This is just giving you a basis, so of course play with it. However, the midfield, why are these the premium guys? And I haven't picked just the 5 most expensive here. I did I think there's one of Sammy Schmodix is 9.5 in there. He appears in a moment with the strikers because he does. There are others, but these are the 5 that I think are the big standouts for this season, and you're gonna be owning them throughout and rotating them. So Jack Clark, he was at Sunderland when he was in season 23-24. Obviously in 24-25, he was with Ipswich up in the Prem. I don't think he did too much. But at Sunderland in the season of 23-24, he scored 15 goals and assisted 4. Now he's back down with Ipswich in the Championship. They've got a very, very strong side. Let's see what he can do when he's back in the Championship with a better side than Sunderland were in 23-24. Gustavo Hamer, consistent. Mr. Consistent. Does get injured a little, I will say that. But in 24-25, he scored 10 and assisted 8. In 23-24, he scored 4 and assisted 6. He is really, really consistent, which is obviously key. Finazaz, probably even more so, and he's actually cheaper by 0.5. just plays for a team that isn't as good as Sheffield United. So Finn Azaz, in 24-25, he scored 12 and assisted 11. In 23-24, he scored 11 and assisted 10. Mr. Consistent. Finn Azaz will be in your team at multiple times during the year. He is in mine all the time, and that's the reason why. I haven't decided whether I'll start with him yet, because I don't think Middlesbrough have got the greatest fixtures, but he's always in contention. Jack Radoni, in 24-25, he scored 10 and assisted 12. And in 23-24, he was at Huddersfield, where he scored 5 and assisted 3. Obviously, then he moved to Coventry. Again, a great season for him. He's really key to the way Coventry play. Definitely another player that will be in that team. A lot of people rotate this sort of 9.5 slot. Steffi Mavadidi, if he's staying at Leicester, I think is a really good 9.5 option. We've seen what he's very much capable of. So in 24-25 in the Prem, he scored 4 goals. Like, again, it's a big step up. We know the Prem's different. So let's go back to the Championship. 23-24, he scored 12 and assisted 6. I'm not sure he'll stay. I'm surprised that there's not more interest in him, but right now he is a Leicester player. So again, that's a premium midfield. It's going to get you a lot of points if they continue the way they have there. You know, you're looking at probably 250 points per person, if not, you know, more either way, either side of that. So is that enough? With surrounding yourself with them and then surrounding other little players there, you're not getting much out of the strikers there. For instance, you need to play around with them. Maybe you do look to downgrade one of those guys in midfield, like Mavadidi, for instance. If he doesn't stay, take him down to a 5 million, and then you've got another 4.5 to spend in that strikers. You might want to put 0.5 somewhere in the defense. You know, at the end of the day, defenders do score points in Gaffr. So, you know, you can get a pretty big score here and there. They've obviously got Park the Bus as well as a chip where you really want to put that. I mean, if you had all those 5 strikers, 5 defenders previously and then played Park the Bus and it was a good week for them all, I don't want to think about how many points you could get, if I'm totally and utterly honest. A lot. So that's your midfielders. Great midfielders there. Just the surrounding cast is a little poor. I guess that could be said a little bit for the strikers here as well. I felt that it's doing the strikers. There's 3 main ones. I think that I mean, 3 main ones on my screen. There's a lot more main ones. And I've also added 1 or 2 of the ones from the midfielders that I left out as well. And I think if you played with this team here I've actually given you, if you played with it a little bit, maybe let's say Adam Armstrong doesn't start off great and you downgrade him to someone who's 6 million and upgrade some other people. From this basis here, from this template, I think you can get a really good team. The whole defense needs work. I've just chucked them in as 4.5 guys. Don't ignore that. But once you once you spend 4 million on that defense and upgrade some people to 5.5, for instance, this team could look pretty good. So for the sake of audio, etc., the team is Panda at 4.5 million, Charles at 4.5, Porthouse at 4.5, Lakechi at 4.5, or Lakesh, I should say. For Maywo, 4.5, Paul 4.5, Kyoso 4.5. That's defense, strike, and goalie's done. In midfield, then we've got Sammy Schmorix at 9.5, Tyler Dibbling at 9.5, Ilias Chair at 7.5. Todd Cantwell at 6.5 and Hayden Hackney at 6 million. So a very good midfield there, if I'm honest. Maybe not the right players here and there, but the prices are giving you a demonstration. Strikers then. That's why we're here. Adam Armstrong at 10.5 million, Haji Wright at 10 million, and then Tom Cannon at 9 million. Arguably, those 3, I think, are the best strikers that you could probably get. If they play, you know, I think that's up in the air with Armstrong, if I'm fair. Tom Cannon also, I believe, gets rotated a little bit as well. So, and obviously, Haji Wright's got Ellis Sims. But I think Haji Wright will play more often than not. So why are they the best strikers? Well, for instance, Adam Armstrong in 23-24 scored 24 goals and assisted 13. Here, that was a huge year for him. That's why they got promoted in 24-25. In 24-25, obviously they were in the Premiership, didn't really do much, and I think he got loaned out to West Brom and actually didn't do too much at West Brom either. But he's back in the Championship now. I think he'll be the main man once again. Let's see if he can recapture what he did in the Championship previously. If he does, you're going to want him in your team. Haji Wright in 24-25, so last year he scored 12 goals. In the season before that, he scored 16 and assisted 6. I think last year he had a bit of an injury, so that's kind of stopped him there, and Ellis Sims took over from him, really. But I think Haji Wright's back now, not injured, so I think another big season for Coventry and Haji Wright with Rodoni behind him. So Tom Cannon in 24-25, he scored 10 and assisted 2, and that's kind of the data we've got for him because he's kind of really only just joined them. But he is a fantastic player, and I think he'll be the main man there. Sammy Schmodix. Oh, Sammy. It pained me to write it. In 24-25, he was in the Prem, obviously. He moved to Ipswich from Blackburn. He scored 4 goals in the Prem. But the previous season, when he was at Blackburn, he scored 27 and assisted 4. He is now back in the Championship with, I'll be fair, a better team than Blackburn are. If he does play consistently. And I don't know if he will play up front much. I think, that's the other thing. Sammy seemed to play a little bit on the left for Ipswich. And obviously behind the striker. So let's wait and see. But wherever he plays, if he's capable of doing that with Blackburn, he could be disgusting for Ipswich. Tyler Dibbling, we don't know too much about Tyler Dibbling. He's 24-25 season was in the Prem with Southampton. He scored 2. But what we do know is he looks really bloody lively. When Southampton were attacking, he was part of it. He is a really good player and he's linked with a lot of clubs. So people were seeing a lot in him. So I think Dibbling's a gamble in reality. I don't think he'll be there come the start of the season. But again, Southampton, it's demonstrating you could put someone else for 9.5 in there and it would be fantastic for you. But yeah, if he is staying with Southampton, he does play, could be a great season for him in the Championship. And then I've left Cantwell and Hackney out, but I've got Ilias Chair in there because I think Mr. Consistency is Ilias Chair with QPR. And QPR also have the best start out of any team in terms of fixtures for the first 9. So for me, Ilias Chair is a really good shout at 7.5 million. So in 24-25, he assisted 6 goals. Assisted 6 goals. In 23-24, he scored 7 and assisted 8. So a little bit of drop-off last year. Again, I think he may have had an injury, but still 6 assists, not too bad. QPR, a slightly better team. They've got a great start. Worth a punt, 7.5. For Ilias Chair. So that concludes your strikers. There are some other great ones, don't get me right. And I could have written a whole list of the strikers and gone why they're good, but you can do your own research on that. This is just for me making teams with premiums in per position. So the fixtures. So my initial thoughts, you've seen this screen before. I stole it from my other pod. My initial thoughts, were Leicester, Watford, Sheffield United, Southampton, 2 or 3 from each. Well, that kind of changes because they're expensive players, as I thought they would be. In reality, Watford not so. They're kind of, let's just say, above mid. But Leicester, Sheffield United, Southampton, really expensive players. Blackburn, Coventry, Bristol City, West Brom, very average. So that's fine, 1 or 2 from them. Norwich and Ipswich, good teams, tricky start. Obviously, Norwich have today lost Saints, which is a big blow for them. They also look to be losing Josh Sargent as well. So actually, Norwich, for me, a little bit more difficult now. Nunes, as I put in, I think previously, potentially a good player, but Norwich now wait and see for me. Ipswich, I think you're fine with them. I put wait and see on Borough and Millwall. Again, they've got very difficult starts there. Middlesbrough, they've got the 4th hardest. Millwall, just below average. But I don't think they're a great team, so that's a wait and see for me. But if you wanted to stick Finn Azaz in, wouldn't stop you doing that at all. Or Hackney, actually, but I like both of them. And then I said if you get the right players from QPR, it could be an excellent start. And I think with Preston, Watford, Coventry, Charlton and Wrexham, 3, you'd argue 3 of those, Preston, Charlton and Wrexham, are really good games for QPR. If you get the right players, I think it's a good start for you. So I can see people going for Ilias Chair based on that and potentially a defender because they're cheap enough for QPR. But that's kind of I don't think that's changed much from what I saw the pricing and what I'd still be going for and what I've based my team around. And this is not my team, by the way. I've written a balanced squad using the prices here and what we know. And again, this is something you could look at and maybe take it away and tamper with it as you should. No, don't take my fucking word for anything. But I've kind of done this to maximize the first day and the great fixtures. So the team is, and I can't even really pronounce Vigouroux. Is that how you spell it? Vigouroux? Don't know. Doesn't matter. I ignored the goalkeepers. But Vigouroux and Cumming are in the goal. So that's a 5 million and a 4.5. Put your own guys in. Simple as that. I just tick them. But defense, we've got Pollock at 5 million, Burrows at 7, Oliveira of 5 million, Davies at 7.5, and Clark Salter at 5. So just playing with the positions, with the players there. Burrows and Davies might well be in my real team. I'll let you have that one for free because they probably be in everyone's team. Then midfielder of Mavadidi at 9.5, Vata of 6.5. That's Watford. Ilias Chair 7.5, Nunez at 6.5, and Jed Wallace at 6 million for West Brom. And then up front is a little bit light. I've got Daka at 8 million for Leicester. He's the only striker at Leicester at the moment, and it's about time he had a really good season. Watford's new boy Semedo at 6.5, and then Adam Armstrong at 10.5. But let's say you drop Adam Armstrong down to someone who's 9.5, and there's plenty of them. You can then upgrade other people. It's a well-balanced squad, and the reason why it's, I've kind of put it in here because it's attacking that first day fixtures as well. So, for instance, you've got Adam Armstrong here if he's playing at newly promoted Wrexham and they're home. You've got Semedo and Vata at newly promoted Charlton. It might be away, but Charlton's probably arguably the weakest of the teams that have come up. Mavadidi and Daka versus Sheffield Wednesday at home. I think Sheffield Wednesday are one of the worst teams in the league. Ilias Chair versus Preston at home. Preston ain't great either. Norwich versus Millwall at home. Norwich versus Millwall at home. I mean, Nunez. That's meant to say Nunez versus Millwall at home, but I put Norwich. He plays for Norwich. It's not wrong. Wallace versus Blackburn, but I think Wallace would have to be out of all them, would be the one that was benched. Blackburn aren't that terrible, in all fairness. We did well last season, and Millwall, West Brom aren't potentially the tricky one. But Wallace would be the benched one. Davis versus newly promoted Birmingham is an away game, but again, it's Davis, the Ipswich. Anything can happen. And then you've got Burrows there, the defender against Bristol City at home. Bristol City are a good team as well, to be fair. They were last season, so that might be a bit tricky. But still, I think you can't bench Burrows and Davis if you're paying 7 and 7.5 for them. You just can't. So the bench would be Oliveira, Clark Salter, and Wallace. So you would effectively be playing a 3-4-3. Yes, you would. That is just a balanced squad, maximizing the first day fixtures. You might look at that and think, actually, I'm onto something, but I want different players from those teams. Absolutely fine. This was chucked together as a way to demonstrate that actually getting a balanced team with a couple of premiums per position is easy to do. The Championship is one of the best leagues. I think it's really fun. Gaffr was really fun, in all fairness. There's a great community around it. I think I looked earlier and there was over 300 players or 250 players already. It only came out this morning. It's 2 p.m. now. So already people have started creating teams. There's a real buzz around it. I love it. I really love it. And I'm glad it's back. Okay, cool. Look. Easy pod, 25 minutes. We've gone through defense, midfield, and strikers in terms of the premiums. I'll do another pod soon enough on Gaffr. I think I need to tamper with and play a little bit, but I wanted to get something out today based on the game being live. Just something for you guys to think about. If you've got any questions, let me know. Give me a DM. Message me. I enjoy chatting and I enjoy kind of being helpful. So thank you very much, guys. I will see you soon. We'll have FPL stuff soon as well. Thank you very much.